Hello and welcome. The question is, why is design so difficult to teach? The reason why design is very difficult to teach is that unlike many other courses, design does not have a predetermined answer before you get into the lecture hall. So the School of Architecture have come up with a way they think they can communicate design ideas from people that are well versed in design to people that are just starting in design. Basically, two things the School of Architecture will show you when it comes to design. One is that it's going to explain to you the design process and standards. And secondly, either by constant mentorship, by jury and presentation, the School of Architecture will show you what it means to have a good design. The design process, as taught in many schools of architecture, is taught in relationship to understanding how spaces are formed, how the spaces relate with one another, and how you can bring these spaces to perform a functional and aesthetic goal. So you notice that many schools of architecture starts up the design process first with a brief, secondly allow students to study research on the brief, get information that they can help understand the brief better, study architectural standards in terms of converting the brief into functional spaces. And in trying to convert this brief into functional spaces, we have textbooks like Architects Data and Time Saver Standards that are there to give you guidance on spaces, sizes, and standards. Students are able to use this information, combine it with the brief and client requirement, and are able to formulate forms, link them together, and create a finished product. The following constitute a good design. Number one is coherence. By coherence, I mean that there should be some form of uniformity in your design. So if I was to design something, and let me say this is a box, this is a triangle, and this is a circle, and I say this is a design, by default, although I've already wrapped it in a box, by default there is no coherent arrangement or form or shape or pattern that you can be seeing to say this works as a design. If I put in three boxes this way, there is some form of coherence along these three boxes for you to say this looks like a design. And the first idea in a design from the start to the finish is some form of coherence, some form of pattern, some form of repetition. Now, in coherence, the word there is uniformity. And we can go between uniformity and variety in design. You may not want it to be too uniform, if not, the design will be boring. And you don't want it to be too, the variety to be too extreme, if not, the design will not even classify as a design. So one of the core elements of a good design is this balance of coherence between uniformity and variety. The next element of a good design is what we call positional relationship. It simply means how you go about arranging the different components of the design. It's very important that we design our elements to be, first of all, somewhat close to one another. So if an element is very distant from one another, the idea to see the relationship between both of them as one design is difficult. But when we begin to place elements closer to one another, the design in between and the pattern can easily be gotten. So arranging your forms of space in an orderly manner or in a consistent manner will show design. So you can arrange boxes this way, and we can see some form of consistency running along the positional relationship between these elements. The advice I give my students in design is this: for you to be creative, you have to start from a point of humility. You have to assume you don't know enough. Do your research, and with this research, focus on solving the problem at hand. Always design with meaning and context at the back of your mind. Thanks for watching this video. I hope I've been able to ease your way into the School of Architecture and Design, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.